right, you guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about building out forms, okay? Forms can be used for a multitude of things, but ultimately, out the gate, you're going to have forms on your website, probably your funnels, and then also your calendar. So those are going to be kind of the main ones that we do out the gate. But ultimately, what you want to do is under Sites on the left-hand side, if you click on Forms and then Builder, you're going to click on New Form, okay? Now, the way that forms work is you have all your custom fields and values over here. These are all the pre-built ones. So typically what you're going to want to collect from people is first name, last name, phone, email. I mean, if you need their address, you can certainly do that. A lot of times that's going to be more for clients when they're setting up forms for their site and stuff and they need that information. But any of this information, you can ask website, and then obviously you've got your button, okay? Now, if you click into any of these fields, like your button for instance, you can fully edit this. So let's click here. Let's put book discovery call. So if this is your discovery call calendar form, you want to do that. You can change the background to make the button any color you want. You can also make it full width if you want that button full width. The other thing is you can definitely change anything in here, you guys, from padding, weight, opacity, any of that stuff. So now if you click on styles, you're going to see that you've got inline forms. Okay, if you do that, this is personally my preference. I like the form to be a little bit shorter and have side by side. So that's what inline does, is it just puts it side by side versus stacked. Show label, right? You can either show the label or not show the label. I always suggest showing it just so they know what they're needing to type into those fields. Okay, and then again, like background, for instance, this right here, you can remove the opacity. So if you just want your form like to match the background and you don't want this white box around it, you can certainly do that just by changing the background and moving this opacity bar right here up and down, okay? Now, if for whatever reason you wanted that form to be a color, you can certainly change that as well. For me personally, I like the opacity, but again, you can play with it and essentially do what you want with it. And there's all sorts of other options that you can do. You guys can put agency branding on here, which again will be the logo in your settings if you want that. I don't typically use it, but up to you. And then you've got options, which is form name, so calendar booking form. All right. Now on submit, you guys, if you're using this inside a Go High Level on a funnel, on a website, anything like that, you do not need to do anything on this submit, because if you're building in a funnel or a website, it gives you the option of like on submit, send to the next part of the funnel, or send to URL. So you actually have this option inside a funnel. However, if you are building this form for a client's website, like a WordPress site, and you're going to integrate that form into their site, you may want to put where this goes to. So if it needs to go to like their thank you page, this is where you'd go grab that thank you page URL. You'd paste it into here. So when someone submits the form, it automatically forwards over to that thank you page. All right. Here's where you would put the pixel ID, which again, you don't need to do right now. And you can do sticky contact if you want. Again, that just means that if somebody has already filled in this form, it's going to autofill their information. And again, going back to fields, let's talk about a couple options here that we have. So custom fields, right? We talked about this a little bit in previous videos, but ultimately, let's say that we wanted to know, in custom fields, first of all, you've got a lot of options here: single line, multi-line, multiple choice, okay, radio, checkbox. So you have a lot of things, and as you click through these, again, you're going to see the option on the right-hand side. So, for instance, let's just say we wanted to do a single line of text, and we wanted to call it, have you have you done advertising for your business before? You could add something like that. You can group it again in contact, general, or additional info. I'm just going to put it in general for now. And then placeholder, you can literally just keep that the same if you want. And then pre-fill value, you could leave that. But what you'll see is, have you done advertising for your business before? Now, if you wanted, see how that created that custom value in here, and it creates all that for you. Now, if I wanted to, I could have done that as a drop-down multiple choice. And if that was the case, we would put yes, we would put no. Have you done advertising? Have you done Facebook, Google, or TikTok ads before? Right, there's a lot of ways that you guys can do this, so I'm going to let you guys kind of decide how you want the wording of this to go, but all you do is create the custom value first and then slide it over to your form, okay? So that's going to give them that multiple choice option. Again, if you want that to be in the placeholder, go ahead and do that. The other thing is, each of these fields, you want to click on them, and I would require, you know, all of them on these particular forms, right? So just go through here, click on these. You can make it required or not required, totally up to you. Let's require that. Okay, so that's essentially how you're going to build out forms. So once the form is built, now you can save the form and you can integrate it anywhere on a web page, a funnel, anything like that. So building out a form, again, having one for your calendar is super important, because for whatever reason, if they didn't answer certain questions when they became a lead, or let's say they came in through a channel that you didn't collect this information and you need that information, it's always good to get that before they book their appointment. And I wouldn't overdo the questions on the forms, you guys, but it's still good to kind of pre-vet and not have just everyone booking into your forms. So what you would do is, once you have all the questions set up on here and you have it looking the way that you want it, you're going to go ahead and click save. You're going to click on integrate. Now, this is where you can choose how you want that form to be placed. Again, if it's just a calendar form, like, you can just use inline. And then depending on how you'd want the form to pop up on your site or funnel, you can do that too. Most of my forms are inline, so it just depends on how you guys want to go about that. You decide how you want it to trigger, if it's on scrolling or if you activate it on a certain visit, deactivate after showing how many times, etc. Just for this case, I'm going to leave it the way that it is. And essentially, two different things. We can copy embed, okay, which is going to give us the piece of code if we needed to go add it on another site. And then you can also copy form link. So if you wanted to copy that, open it up in a new tab. It's going to show you what that form looks like. It's going to show you the different drop-down options, right? So, and notice how some of my information pre-filled, because I've been my own customer on this since we've been going through the walkthroughs, okay? So now that we have that form, if you were to, you can go ahead and save that. All right, so let's say that we come back over to calendars now, and let's say that this was the calendar 2 form. You go into edit, and once that populates, right here under custom form, you're going to now see that here's the calendar booking form, okay? So if you click that into your option for custom forms, now when somebody goes to this calendar and tries to book an appointment, so let's just show you an example here. When someone goes to book an appointment, they're going to have to answer that form on your calendar. All right, so if we grab that link, let's go here. we're going to go to book a time on here, continue, and now you're going to see that form built directly into the calendar. All right, and that's forms. So again, this particular form, that's how you add it to calendars, but also if you are under sites and under funnels. So let's say that we go ahead and build a new funnel. Just for giggles, let's pop open here. We'll actually just go ahead and do one of these since I believe these were just tests. So let's say that we were just going to go ahead and edit this, and let's say that right here underneath this we wanted to have our form on here, calendar booking form, and then you're going to have that form kind of built right in. But just notice the difference here, you guys, because the background on it is opaque. In this particular case, it's hard to read in that certain position. So just take note of that. You can always go back and add a background to the form. Super easy to do. You can add that in, and now this form, again, one of the final steps of that is when somebody goes to book, you'll notice down here, so we've got the calendar booking form, and then you've got your redirect action, okay? So this is where I was saying that if you're building the forms into Go High Level, you can actually choose where you want that form to go, right? If you're in a funnel builder and you click next step, basically it goes right to the next step of the funnel. Now, if you wanted to go to a specific landing page, a calendar booking page, whatever be the case, then you would use specific URL, and then from there, all you would need to do is paste that URL, and you can choose whether to open up in a new tab or not. So if it just goes to the next step of the funnel, then essentially how that works is, let's go ahead and leave. In any funnel builder, basically the option here is the next step. So that would take them directly to this next step in the funnel, okay? So just realize funnels are stacked, right? Websites allow you to kind of go all over the place. Funnels are one directional. So if you choose to go to the next step, it's always going to be that next step of your funnel that's driving them to. But that's it, you guys. That's how you set up your forms. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we will see you guys in the next one.